I might actually have to leave earlier because apparently they bumped it up by half an hour.
Oh, unreal. It's okay. Either way.
But hey, everybody.
You got for your half hour, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. We're just happy that you're back. I have been holding in the sneeze, and I don't know how it hasn't came out yet. And hopefully you guys are good. We got some cool news. We got some weird news. We got some secret news and all sorts of good stuff. And Quad Pro Quo is the only podcast of the month this month. And we were talking about it last week. Those fuckers, they met out good. There was 5 Thursdays in August. So they were solo. So they really lucked out. Spoiler, we're still not next month's. But like we said before, 2024 is the year of Triple T or Beard Laws. I don't know. Or maybe none of them. But either way, check them out. Quad Pro Quo. It's pretty cool. They're inspired by the quid pro quo scene in The Silence of the Lambs. Did you guys know
that? Quid pro quo, mister. I only know quid pro quo. I can't even say it now. Whoa. I know it from Austin Powers, unfortunately, not Silence of the Lambs. Quid pro quo, Mr. Powers. Yes, Squid Pro Row.
I'm sure you're not the only one.
They got that from Silence of the Lambs, though. The way they said it, right?
Yeah, because it's set up like where he's Hannibal in the glass cage too.
Thank you guys for the memo on the green. I didn't realize we were all wearing green because Euban couldn't be here tonight, and maybe you guys sent the message and I just missed it. But yes, Euban will not be here. He had some stuff going on. We'll let you he'll fill it in next time he's back and what's going on. No pun intended. But either way, glad to have you back, Toby. Hopefully traveling wasn't as much of a nightmare. Hard sweet tea, Bojangles.
Bojangles?
Sweet tea?
Bro, it's fucking, this is legit.
Is it good?
It's legit, yeah.
How many ounces? Is it 16? 24?
No. This is a 12 ounce. It's like a It's like a what do you call it? Ultra, like a Michelob Ultra slim can.
Yep.
But the traveling was great. I wish I would have had enough time to go live because I had enough time to get with a bunch of my buddies for one night. So there was 4 of my friends that I've known since 8th grade there.
No shit.
And then who are all just like me or worse. And then poor Lollygag Dan.
Yep.
I was like, you ever wondered what I was like? What's that?
You keep in contact with these guys since 8th grade, like still, like you guys chat and stuff still, or is it was like pick up from where you kind of last saw each other?
So my best friend, like best friend ever, Jason, I keep in contact with him. Nice. What's really weird is none of these guys keep in contact with each other until I show up, and then I get us all back together.
Yeah, and they all still live in there.
Well, I get a hold of the people that I find out still live there, which is, it's at least 4 of us. But Dan came from Hudson, Wisconsin to come hang out that same night. I was like, if you've ever wondered why I'm like this, you're getting ready to find out. And he just had a blast.
Isn't it crazy? I wonder if it's all small towns because it's the same thing here. There could be 3 or 4 of us that never see each other. And then my one buddy from Carolina comes home and it's like, we all get together. We all just hang out for 3 or 4 days. And we're like, we're going to continue to do this. And then he goes back to Carolina and it's like, fuck, well, see you next time he comes home. And unfortunately at least me personally, I don't get a chance to go down to him as much as I probably should or ever. I think I haven't been there since he got married. It's just weird how that works. We're miles from each other. We never see each other. Maybe they don't like me. They're like, oh, you're probably going to be on your stupid fucking podcast. I'm not getting on here and you guys just watching videos about people shitting their pants because they know that I'll bring up the time that they shit their pants.
Yeah. Remember that one time?
Yeah. Yeah. Over the weekend, we actually, I got to see a bunch of buddies I haven't seen in forever, like even before the pandemic and stuff. My buddy had a pig roast and lawnmower races and keg trailer and bands and fireworks. It was probably one of the funnest parties I've ever been to. And then I just don't get, like, these people are invited to these people's houses and then you get these fucking like kids. I know kids are being kids, but wouldn't you think if you were going to one of your friends' houses that your kids wouldn't be like a dickhead? Like these kids were like drenching the toilet paper, throwing the toilet paper in the toilet and just being fucking degenerate. Like we've all kids, but at least we had respect at, our friends. Like I couldn't imagine going to one of my dad's friends' houses and doing some stupid shit and not leaving you know, with a belt or a slapping or something stupid if I was out of line. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Fucking kids. But either way,
It's
and
these days.
kids these days, that's the oldest thing. All right, I don't want to sound old anymore. Fuck. And Richie, you've been doing some big things. I know you can't talk about all the stuff, but you
I can't. Yeah, I can't talk about all of it, but yes, some big things are happening for Jet Entertainment.
Heck yeah. Make sure you guys check it out. I will. Last time we got to 69 last week, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys? I haven't looked yet.
We're at 90 now, but
that was way back in the day. 69 was fun though. Did you get to do the 69 video?
No, but I forgot about it.
Well,
sounds dirty. Maybe you shouldn't do the 69 video on the YouTube.
Listen, we record usually 2 to 4 podcasts each time we meet up. I forget most of the stuff. We just start rambling, and then we look down and go, "That was an hour."
It goes quick.
Stop.
It does.
I realized if I really wanted to, like if I still lived in Minnesota, my buddy Jason and I, we would be able to do a podcast because the two of us would just the very first night that he came over. Well, no, actually, before I even left, I called him just to kind of clear up, let him know what my schedule was going to be, see what his schedule was. And next thing you know, I was like, bro, we've been talking for 3 hours. I got to let you go.
Yeah.
He's like, holy shit. But we talked about everything. I was like, but the shit that we talked about was the type of thing that like you'd tune in to hear two idiots talking about.
Yeah. I mean, for some reason, people tune in and listen to 3 or 4 idiots talk about stuff and show videos, but it's different. It's definitely a cool thing catching up with an old friend and the shit that comes out of your mouth, the stories that you bring back up, and the giggling like little schoolgirls that happens between bros. I mean, maybe that doesn't happen to you, but it definitely happens to me. Definitely you've been too. Fucking laugh. Yeah, Minnesota though, all in all, was a nice break for the weather. It ended up not being terribly hot, right? Or did it end up being hot? You brought it with you?
Yeah, I brought it with me. I always do. I always bring Minnesota weather with me if I visit during the summer. So this week, the week that before I left, it was 121 with the heat index. Had an 80. I think we had an 81 degree dew point and like 86% humidity here on the hottest day the week before I left. The day I get there, it's 105 with the heat index. The next day is 110. The next day is 117. And then thankfully the day after that, so that was the funeral day, was 117. Oof. And everybody's out there like, oh, and I'm like, fucking welcome to my hell. And I'm wearing a long black sleeved button up shirt. I've got black pants on, and everybody's like, how? I was like, you're not from where I'm from right now. So, that's true. And then the next day, that Thursday, my dad took me up to the land, which is 3.5 hours north. And I think it topped out at like 68 degrees and dropped down to like 52 degrees that night. Oh God, it was gorgeous. Next day we come back down, maxed out at like 72 degrees with a low of 58 that night. And then the next day it maxed out at like 67 degrees. And then the morning that I left, it was 51. And I was like, I don't ever want to leave. I land in North Carolina. So it maxed out that day. By the time I left, it was like 60 degrees. By the time 2 hours after I landed in North Carolina, it was 121 degrees with the heat index here. I was like, fuck this place.
Welcome home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say I looked up weather. It must have been one of the days because I was like, Toby's lucking out. He's got the same weather as us because it was like 68 or 69 when I looked.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked a random place. I didn't know exactly where you're going, but I was like, oh, he's getting some here because the same thing. And the other day was actually like 43 up in the Adirondacks. And it's 50s at night here. So yeah, I'm glad not to have the 120s. But we'll have 7 months of snow and winter coming up. I was just looking at a picture randomly that popped up of when my dog was a puppy, and it was March 31st, and we still had snow. We had just gotten a snowstorm.
It's just relentless. Like I can see on the weather forecast I've got, I can see like 15 days ahead, and it just keeps climbing still. Like it's still like it stays in like the high 80s, like 88, 89, and then 91, 90, 91. And I'm like, motherfucker, like just stop already. Like I get it. Global warming's a thing. Maybe if we all just admit it, hey, global warming and climate change is a fucking thing. Can we all just admit it at this point? Great. Now, can we get back to fucking normal, please?
Yeah.
Because this isn't normal even for North Carolina.
Yep. It's a thing. Turn it back down. Let's go. I mean, we even got like a tornado up here, like an actual like F2 or some shit. I don't remember the number. Tornado up here. We don't
Rookie numbers.
We're not yet, but we're not supposed to have that shit up here.
F2.
Ohio just had 3 earthquakes.
That's it.
Fucking what?
Ohio's is a third world country. All right, so they don't count.
That's true. That is.
Nobody cares about them. Clearly,
some good football players come out of Ohio.
Blow up. You know, things happen,
which makes sense. Yeah, Ohio.
Not even the president cares. So,
shout out to all our Ohio viewers. A lot of good beards come out of Ohio too. Must be something in the water. Which there's
something in the water for sure.
Oh, shit. You know what? I think I'm going to do a video because there's one that says, who sent dad this picture? And I think this is the best time to play it because I think this guy might be from Ohio. If not Ohio, let's guess where this guy's from. All right, let's do a thing.
Which one of you punk ass motherfuckers sent my dick pic to my fucking father? Which one of you guys did? I would love to know. I'm livid right now.
I'm going to tell you right now, as much as I'd love to blame that on Ohio, that is 100% a suburban redneck from Georgia. Promise you.
See, I didn't hear. I was going to agree with you because of the teeth, but I didn't hear enough of an accent.
That's why I said suburban.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta, like Woodstock, Georgia kind of stuff. Like just north of Atlanta.
That guy definitely
That's from Ackworth.
I thought Alabama. Roll Tide.
No, not enough 20.
No?
Nah,
okay.
That's north to mid to like central Georgia.
I suppose. Yeah, he could probably. Yeah, he'd have much more of an accent if he was west of Georgia.
Yeah,
I mean the obvious guesses are in there. We got West Virginia, Kentucky, some Alabama. That's a good point. Evan says, "Ask him to spell livid."
We got to find this guy.
Ask him to spell dick pic. Could you imagine sending a dick pic and then somehow somebody sends it to your dad?
I mean,
I couldn't imagine.
I'd send it to my dad. I'd send it to my dad, and he'd go, "Yeah, I knew you were adopted."
No, I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. My dad's already had 6 heart attacks.
Yeah, we don't need that one.
We don't need another one.
That's why I went and got the Manscaped. You get that?
Did you end up getting it?
Get that?
I did end up getting it. I have not. Listen. I have done a lot. I have done a lot of risky, chancy things in my life. I have not had the courage to bring it down to the testes. I have not.
Yeah.
Is that what you tried it on?
That's my thing. That's my thing. I'm worried about.
No, I tried it like on my chest hair and everything, and it really does. It leaves a little bit, like it doesn't shave it like my Phillips One blade, but dude, like I've caught myself with clippers before on the nuts, and it is not a pleasant experience. So.
And air burns.
I don't know. I know a lot of people tout the Manscaped, but the older I get, the wrinklier they get, and you're just got that fear in you, bro.
Looser.
Like,
they're way looser.
Yep. Gravity really kicks in.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll wait till the winter where they like suck back up.
Well, at this point, it's going to be 4 years from now, and the next time you go to Minnesota, you're going to have to fly home with the Manscaped and let it be cold enough.
I flew home with it this time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, when you do, we expect a full update on how it goes, and hopefully there's no. I mean, they say. So what happens? Is there like a policy, like if you nick the boys or you nick any of it, do you get your money back?
I didn't see anything in it that said like guaranteed money back or anything like that.
I bet
I've heard good things. But I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Can you hear that?
Like Toby said, I've done. Yeah,
Yeah, I
what's that noise?
was wondering what that was. So for anybody just listening, Toby is hearing a noise. He is crawling under his desk and looking for.
Okay, so we have driveway alarms. We have driveway alarms on both
Oh.
of our driveways, and each of them make a different sound. And it's to alert us when it's usually for when because the turkeys like to wander off the property and they'll walk halfway down the road. Anybody that's been here, like Richie, knows how long that road is.
Yeah.
So instead of waiting for the neighbors to call us and be like, hey, just thought I'd let you know your turkeys are down here, we can go out front and we've got this big bell that sits on the front and you can bing, 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 like a dinner bell and ring it and they come back onto the property. But that was the back driveway alarm and it's really late at night. So it's either a raccoon or a deer.
Well, let's hope for deer. Yeah, they don't.
Or the ATF. You don't know. That could be.
Oh shit! I was just thinking about. Yeah, I was just thinking about how we were talking about spelling dick pic, and it just reminded me of the number of people that will message me.
Their dick pics.
They're on TikTok, but they still don't know how to spell TikTok.
It is tough.
How are they spelling it?
They'll usually like replace the K with the C on like the first part, or like it'll be TIC
or
TOK, or they'll TICK, or it's crazy.
Bro. Bless their hearts.
I can promise you, the police doesn't just wander onto my lawn anymore. They've made that mistake twice. They've made that mistake twice, and I've almost been shot by the police twice, but they don't do it anymore. There's now a warning.
Now they meet you at the end of the driveway going.
Yeah, they have my
Mr.
phone number. They have
Gluskin.
my phone number on file that if there's a call to my house, they're supposed to attempt texting or calling me first to let me know they're here.
Hell yeah.
As long as they're not showing up at night. If they show up at night, they'll throw the whirly birds on as they're entering the driveway. They don't play the siren, but they'll turn on the lights. I'm like, oh, okay. Cops, got it.
In your house, we'll have enough
Shit,
sirens
cops.
with the alarms.
Why are they here?
It's that second delayed reaction. Oh, it's just the cops.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the cops.
Richie's like, they go by my house all the time.
Fuck, is Peyton home? Okay. Yeah, all right. It's not another kid.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That would happen the first time. What do you want me to fucking say?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I think that's, I'm going to take a drink. And
Bro, I swear my brain is more messed up now than it ever has been because I've been hanging around nothing but comedians and, aspiring comedians and people who shouldn't be comedians. And no, I'm just playing. But
kind of
the stuff I've been hearing, holy smoke. I want to get all them and Toby in a room. All those comedians and Toby in a room. Just because that's a podcast right there. You'd fit in.
I will say this. I will say this. Normally, the more out of control the people are around me, the more mature I tend to act.
No, I'm talking about the good ones.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones that can.
Well, I mean, even around like my friends were like getting loud and crazy. And I kept telling them, I was like, guys, hey, try to keep it down a little bit. And they're like, your dad's not going to care. I'm like, no, not until the neighbors come over tomorrow, because everybody in Minnesota is passive aggressive. And they're like, sound like you had some people over here last night. But that's the way they're telling them, hey, man, you want to keep the fuck down over here? But they don't say it like that.
Nice. Apparently we have a new Patreon member.
Hell yeah.
Y'all do. Y'all. Somebody up here said y'all the other day, and I just fucking, I mean, there's a place for it. It's not in northern New York. How many people in Minnesota naturally can be like, "Sup, y'all"? Or
Never said it in my entire life, and I've traveled everywhere from the furthest reaches of Minnesota to the most southern. Like, what was? Oh shit! Oh, there was a video I wanted to send you for tonight, Matt, but I couldn't because it was all music. But Richie saw it tonight before the podcast.
Oh, look at that look! I'm not gonna lie. I do have a decent amount of videos that you have sent me because I knew you weren't here last
that one
week.
Was
so I saved some.
That one was ocular damage. That's all that was. It's just
yes.
Well, it has to be better than the stuff that Eubin and Lemon have been sending over certain individuals that I think that we've talked about before backstage. Lots of them on their For You page, and some of them are just a little too much. And they'll never. I don't think they send them because they're going to be on the show, because there's no chance that they're ever going to make it on the show here. But they're fucking twisted,
wild.
They're pretty wild.
I have not.
I don't know
Archie.
if they send.
I would show Archie on here, but my internet, or at least StreamYard, is telling me that my internet is too low. Like, I'm sure I'm pixelated as hell to all of you guys right now.
You're freezing.
But my
Nokia
upload speed is maxed. My upload speed is maxed. My download speed is maxed. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. This is just how StreamYard acts now and then. It just loses its shit and says, "Hey, what if we don't say that you have a connection to the internet?" So maybe one day when it doesn't tell me my internet's shit, I will. I'll bring Archie out. And for those of you that don't know, Archie is our new pet squirrel.
Oh, I saw the squirrel.
Yeah. Squirrel. Interesting. Yeah, pretty wild story from what I understand, and I have seen on the one video. Pretty wild. Leave it. Something's gonna happen like that. It's gonna happen to you. All right.
Yeah, no doubt.
What do we got here? I was gonna show this one. For some reason, it was another interesting one about dick pic. So we're gonna send one more in the dick pic realm, because there was some advice that was sent in from Lilette that says, if you receive a dick pic, circle a random spot on the picture, send it back to them, and ask, "What's that? Are you okay? You might need to get that checked." How many dick pics do we think that she's been sent in her life to know to circle and fuck with somebody and send one back? I wouldn't have thought about it.
I can tell you that. I can tell you the number that I've sent people. I've sent a total of 3 my whole life, and they've all been to my wife after we were married.
Yeah, I don't think I've sent any. I don't trust the internet, though. Nor do as if I ever wanted to send one to somebody that bad. I know I'm lame.
Well, I mean, honestly, if it's just your dick, why does it matter? Because you can't prove that it was yours that you sent, you know?
True. Very true.
Well, unless you get it tattooed.
Well, then there's that. Then it would be probably a little tougher to find on the Google image search, especially if it says your name on it. Or your name.
Tattoo your name on your own dick.
I mean, people put your name on their ass.
I mean, it would work for me because my name's Richard. So,
yep. That's funny. Please tell me you tattooed your dick, Richard.
Little Richard. It says Little Richard.
Little Richard. You can't see that it says little though until he's excited.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just barely do, because it's not that big. So,
well, what he put was Lil. He put Lil.
Yeah, Lil.
Little Richard. Little Richard, y'all. It's that big.
I didn't have enough room for that.
Oh. Well, you talked about being a small, so if it was small, then you might have to zoom in if you get a dick pic. But apparently, that happened on this.
These cameras.
Seems like a fun game, but we'd have to break up if she zoomed in like that. Embarrassing me in public. Oh, you know where it is.
The first time I fucking saw that video, man, I was like, I laughed at first from her face, and then I see her go like this as she's like sneaking down. I was like, no. And then it switched to that guy, and I was like, immediate laughter again.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. All right. So again, have a decent amount that Toby sent in. I had them in order, and then I fucked it up. So I'm not sure which ones you sent in anymore, but majority of this week, I'm pretty sure, are yours. This one, though, not sure, but it made me laugh.
So Kelly and I, we were at the range, and she got mad that we had to pick out the brass. So I brought her in here to find a brass magnet.
Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear anything out of your mouth. I'm never trusting you again. And I'm gonna Google anything you freaking tell me again.
What happened?
That's 100% Tennessee.
Yeah, I would definitely do that to my wife. I'm not gonna lie, babe. Hey, if we're gonna go to the range today, why don't you go ahead and pick up? We need to get a brass magnet. I'll wait out in the car. If you just want to go, you can just go right to the back where they sell the guns and everything. And you can just let them know that you need one. Absolutely, I'd pull that off.
How many people you think working at that place now, because of videos and videos like that, are getting more and more women that are running in and be like, I'm here for the brass magnet?
Jester
said
what I said. What I was about to say. You remember the IDT 10T or ID 10T form?
Yep. We used to send guys out in the military for keys to the drop zone, keys to the Humvee, which it's not really so much of a trick for keys to the Humvee, because Humvees, although they don't need a key to start, there is a cable that goes around the steering wheel and has a padlock on it. So that makes sense. Same thing, like you can't tell them that you need batteries for the chem light anymore, because now the military started issuing what they call battery operated chem lights, which are, so we're getting less and less with our tricks, but I can still send somebody for a box of grid squares. So,
or, if you're ever working on anything, you get them to go get a left-handed hammer or a left-handed wrench.
Best one I've ever seen is the exhaust sample. I had a brand new guy. We're out there doing monthly maintenance on the vehicles. And I mean, this guy is like brand new, fresh out of basic. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I need you to get an exhaust sample for the truck. It's due. I need you to get an exhaust sample and bring it to the mechanics. He's like, well, how do you get an example? How do you get a sample of exhaust? I'm like, Dick, you take a clear plastic bag. You got to get one of the 30-gallon clear plastic bags. They've got them in the maintenance office. Just go ask them for one. You bring it back. You hold it around the exhaust till it poofs up. Then you close it, seal it, and you have to write down the truck number, the date, and our standard platoon name line stuff. He's like, oh. So he takes his bag and he walks to maintenance, and he comes back. He's like, maintenance says I got to bring this to brigade maintenance. I was like, well, then fucking what are you waiting for? I'm like, that needs to be turned in before lunch. He's like, okay. So this guy's gone for like an hour, almost an hour and a half. And he comes back real fucking funny. So he got sent to brigade maintenance, who then sent him to division maintenance, then who sent him to the civilian maintenance team, who then sent him to like somebody else's maintenance. And that final maintenance was like, are you fucking serious right now? You're going to waste my time with this shit? And he was like, oh, I don't know. He's like, it's supposed to be in a black bag. And he started walking back, and a sergeant major caught him with this and said, what are you doing? Well, I was sent to go turn in this exhaust sample, Sergeant Major. He's like, what unit are you in? puts the kid in his car in his personal POV and drives him back to the motor pool, which is like 2 miles down the road by this point, and fucking drops him off and is like, go tell your guys don't do this shit again. I was like, all right. He came back and I was like, which Sergeant Major was it? He goes, I don't know.
You're asking me to figure out which one? I just walked for 2 miles in 2 hours with an exhaust sample. That's fucking
Here's the
hilarious.
funny part about what Queen Kush has said. There are auto parts stores now that actually have like cans that are labeled blinker fluid. And there's 4 things that you always talk about, right, with the blinker fluid or whatever else, that actually they now have cans that like are labeled and say it, that are they're like comic, they're like prank things that you can buy and send to somebody, or have in like your garage and tell somebody, hey, go get the blinker fluid for me. But they actually, a lot of them sell them now. I think it's hilarious. You go in and you actually see like a stack of them. I'm like, I am getting one of these.
You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy 8-ounce empty bottles. You can buy 16-ounce bottles. You can buy all sorts of. You can buy the tin. Keeps your lights lube for 10,000 miles. And then you can buy. You can actually buy a combo that is a blinker fluid bottle that says DOT approved, and it comes with a koozie that says I change my own blinker fluid. That's pretty funny. $12.
Nice.
Oh, this one's for truck SUVs and everything. Okay.
Guys, I hate to do this, but I got a jet. I have a table reading for the ELE series, so I am so sorry to jet in the middle of this. It's my fault. I told them that I'd be good tonight, but I thought that it was at 10:30, but apparently it's at 9:30.
It's okay. It's all right. We'll get through this. Have a good reading, and we'll see you Tuesday, homie.
I love you guys.
Love you,
So
brother.
sorry.
Be good, bro.
Spend
You do.
time with you later, I promise.
Oh, whoa. That's a tough view. Boop. Wow, look how big we are.
Look at
Wow.
us.
Just the 2 of us.
We can make it if we try.
We can. All right, and we're going to try. We're going to do good. All right. So, again, he said he had a jet. So, again, I put the link in there. Make sure you check out the Jet Entertainment. And I watched one of them today.
Nice.
I watched one of them. Yeah. I watched one of them today. What the hell one? It was the newest one that came out.
Okay.
Not the 20% one. How was it? It was Breaking the Mold.
Yeah.
I watched that one a little bit while I was had it in my ear.
That
while
one was a
working.
change up from usual. It starts off a little different.
Mhm.
We got a couple more coming up that get real deep into some stuff that is very interesting. But the next one coming up this week will be another 20% Fire episode. And then after that will be our first special guest filmed at a special location.
Ooh, heck yeah! Can't wait to be able to see it, and then all of you will be able. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Excited for it, and it's nice when the hard work starts to.
Bro, we just started. I'm crazy. It's crazy to me that it's going the way it is. Of course, my brother has been doing comedy for over a year now, so he's built up some rapport, I guess is the word.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
and it's a good time for comedy podcasts too. I mean, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of well-known comedians, and then kind of what I always do is kind of that trickle-down effect. You know what I mean? Where you see those big ones, but then if anytime those big channels do best for viewer, it doesn't always go to another big one. It just throws it to another one, and I think you guys will continually get feed off of that.
I can't tell you how many times I've been like, I'll watch because I watch a lot of podcasts. Mostly, I watch a lot of comedy comedians podcasts and stuff. So I could be watching like Your Mom's House or something like that with Tom Segura, and I could watch that, go to sleep, and I wake up in the middle of the night, and it's some random nobody podcast, but it's comedians. It at least keeps it the same. So we're in there. When you look at the statistics, actually, that's how a lot about 20-something% of people are finding us is through the suggested next video.
Yep, I was gonna say that, and hashtags. People, I guess, click hashtag. I got to be honest. I've been on YouTube a lot.
See, I
don't
cheat. I don't cheat and put like random comedians' names in there.
Yeah.
And like in the tags or anything like that, because that's a little wrong in my opinion. I don't want people coming there and being like, you didn't have Tom Segura on. Now I have done it for like when we even did the fake. We had fake guests on. Where we superimposed faces on Jet's face when he was doing some impressions. But that's fair because
that is fair.
You get the idea.
And his face is there, so I mean, it makes sense from there to there.
It's an impression.
Yeah, and I know that you've been using the conversation we had with the tool and
The
stuff.
AI.
I've been
Dude, it's doing phenomenal for me.
See, mine's kind of like this. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's still, I haven't really found anything cool, and we can talk offline. But I don't know. Hopefully,
It may also be because of how new our channel is. It kind of has less to go on other than what it's been putting in. So.
True. No, it makes sense. Yeah, and you guys have been in a niche in there. Or we've been 8,000 different things, I think, between beard reviews and all sorts of stuff back in the day. And Russ asked if we ever tried Fresh Beard Company. Now, the only stuff in my beard, brother, is Copper John's beard. Copper John's. But the break in the mold with the thumbnail had kind of the mushroom cloud on it.
The world blowing up or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. And there was a video from Toby that also talked about a weird cloud. Want to see it?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Hey, look. That one looks like a giraffe.
Huh. That one looks like a mushroom.
Yeah. That one looks like a mushroom.
Yeah.
Yep. That's probably how we'll all end eventually.
But you were talking about AI and mushroom clouds and stuff like that. I've been using a lot of AI generators for random pictures for the wallpapers and stuff like that. And so I took all of the different topics that we talked about on our pre-recorded one from Sunday, and it was a lot of different stuff. And it started putting in some stuff. There was one that had, and we ended up talking about Bob Barker, obviously, with him passing, and then there were some comparisons, and without a spoiler, there were some comparisons between him and Hugh Hefner, and a conversation that led from that. And in the background, there's a picture of Bob Barker kind of like holding it up with the whole mushroom cloud in the back, almost like that, where the world's blowing up. And then all this other stuff that was randomly talked about in the episode. And I sent it over to you, Ben, and friggin' was dying laughing.
What's crazy about that episode is, we talk about the green asteroid or the green comet fragment that comes into space that they saw over Virginia. And then a couple of weeks later, there was one after that episode was filmed, there was one in Florida. And then I witnessed one for myself in person. And I was explaining to my brother, I grew up in the country where you could see the clouds. I could see the Milky Way.
Yep.
Stuff you see in pictures where it's just that clear sky and you can see more stars than you've ever seen before.
Yep.
I grew up with that. So I saw meteorites and shooting stars, as people call them, and all that stuff all the time. But I've never in my life seen a green one. That one is that big. Two, it is going a lot slower than a normal meteor, and then it explodes at the end. And my other brother Matthew and I, we both were walking. We're going to the gas station to get some beer, and sure enough, just watched one go across the sky. And it's they're saying it's fragments from a comet, and that the explosion it creates can be up to basically it's like 2 tons. It's like basically the equivalent of an atom bomb going off in the air. So.
Ooh. I wonder why global warming.
Well, I'm more scared about if there's a comet fragments. Is there a comet about to impact the Earth? Because
I'd rather not think about that. I'm scared.
I hope not, but if so, let's have a fun ride.
Yep. When I don't know. I don't have any segue. I'm just gonna show this one because if we're gonna die.
And let's have fun before.
This person did not have any fun. I'll tell you that.
Uh-oh.
One of my favorite things on the internet is when people post something for sale on Facebook Marketplace and then accidentally throw in a picture that has nothing to do with what they're selling. Hold on, wait for it. So we got an Amazon Fire TV 32 inches coming out of Clackamas, Oregon. Now that I have your attention, have you guys seen this friggin' thing? If you've been following me for any length of time, I know you've seen it because this is my 6th video on this one picture. When was the last time this person took a shit? The Last Supper? What did this guy have to eat? The other nurse? Where are they gonna put this? Just outside? Like in the woods? And what do you do with it? There's always one person. Oh, I've seen bigger than that. I've done bigger than that. Did you need stitches afterwards? Before they crap that out, they could probably taste that thing when they were brushing their teeth. Jack could have lived if this thing was floating in the water when the Titanic went down.
Yeah. Yeah. That was that's a large specimen. For sure.
That is for anybody just listening, it was a nurse, obviously masked up, gloved up, with a bedpan with a turd that was actually sticking out of the front and the back of the bedpan in length, like girth wise, probably just as wide as the bedpan opening.
Yeah, I mean, the thing was probably what, 14, 16 inches long.
Yeah,
had to be the size of a freaking 1 liter.
It looked like a liter bottle
Yeah.
length and almost almost as well. It was definitely bigger than that Bojangles can for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Almost like the big kind of like Mountain Dew bottles you can get, the 24 ounces.
Man, I mean, did that have to surgically come out?
I don't know. I mean, what did he come in for? Was he just like ridiculously constipated?
Or her?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd imagine that had to hurt. Their stomach had to be messed up.
Terribly messed up. Diet can't be great. Fuck. That's a bit. There's not a lot of times where I don't have anything to say, and that's a huge dump.
That's
huge.
It's a huge turd.
I almost think they had to have some kind of surgery to get that thing out. Like, there's no way that can come out of a human.
I don't know. I've seen things go into a human bigger than that. So
right, but if you're going in with it, then there's at least a path created that, in theory, it's going to come back out because it just forced its way in. What if it's already in a different place and then it just can't come out? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to even imagine what they had to do if they had to be surgically removed. Like what, cut the sphincter muscle?
It's also, I mean, there's a lot of things that I might be decent at, being a doctor and knowing how a big turd comes out of a human.
What a shitty situation, huh? Where's my
there it is. Ready?
I don't have it pulled up. I had a whole I didn't change any of this, and I have it all set up for the other podcasts.
Sunday. Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, this isn't as shitty, but this made me laugh pretty hard. Let's do it.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, boss. You take it easy on that.
Thanks. It's preposterous. You just cut the cheese in my car.
I mean, obviously that's staged, but
yeah,
funny.
Because who's gonna go? That's preposterous.
That's preposterous.
He cut the cheese in my car.
How dare he?
Yeah,
I do say so.
Because if that was how he talks, he'd be on the other side with the steering wheel, right?
Well, considering they both look like they just smoked, probably hotbox that car prior to that video, because the one guy was just straight up, just staring at the camera. Yeah,
ready for it.
I'm surprised I could say that word.
I didn't say it right when I said it, so
I never say it right. So
yeah, I was
Toby was still here. He'd have gone. It's preposterous,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There's. I mean, let's be honest. We've all farted in an Uber, but getting up, ripping it, ass, just that's brilliant. Especially if it must not have smelled, because he would have raged out, or at least a normal person would have probably raged out.
Yeah.
What else?
Or at least like most people would have got mad at that, like physically.
Yeah, I'd have been like, what the? I mean, at least leave an extra tip or something. See, Uber's a thing. Actually, ironically, I just actually deleted Uber off my phone from when I went down to over to Vegas. I had it. Obviously, it was really the only way I could get around. And up here, there isn't even any Ubers, so I don't need it.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody. not really a need, I guess, for it, because then you just have to drive yourself around, or I don't even.
I leave the
any
app
cabs.
on my phone just in case, because I never really need an Uber, but there's gonna be that time I do, and I'm worried that I'll be inebriated or something and will not be able to figure out downloading the app. So I just need it to be there.
And it's kind of a pain in the ass because then not only do you have to download it, then you have to re-sign in and figure out your login, then probably two-step verification, checking in. Yeah, and I debated that too, but I don't really plan on traveling anywhere in the next little bit, so I was like, fuck it. Gone. Uber or walk? Yeah, I'll walk. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, when I was in Vegas, it was 116, and there was like a 3-mile walk. No chance in hell I'm walking. Nope.
With nothing but concrete and pavement around, so
just
intensifying that heat.
That's an $11 well spent.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
All right.
A little bit of air condition.
What do we got? How about a joke? Feel like a joke?
I like jokes.
This one's pretty good.
Did you know it's commonly thought that pound cake got its name because the original recipe required 1 pound of flour, 1 pound of butter, 1 pound of sugar? However, this is false. It's actually named after the place it was invented. Pound Town. You know, where your mom lives. Well, see you next time.
Tips with Chris.
Saw it coming.
Yep.
Saw it coming.
So good.
Like, this is leading somewhere.
And as soon as I even thought, as soon as he's pound cake, my brain went pound cake, pound town, mom joke. I think that is probably 80% of all men when they start or pound, it turns into some kind of mom joke.
We've all been giggling at the name pound cake for a while.
So long.
Pound your mom.
Mom jokes still timely placed are pretty good, but the problem is when you get a little bit older, you don't really want to bust out a mom joke because you don't know if the mom's around still. You know, we're getting to that age where mom jokes are a little bit dicey.
I don't know. I have a messed up sense of humor. So like, my mom's dead. I'm like, and?
And?
She can't say no now.
Shit. This is probably somebody's mom. And if she's not somebody's mom after this video, there's a potential that she's gonna be somebody's mom.
Oh, okay. This chick just pulled out a dirt devil out of her daggum cleavage. What?
How many takes you think it took for that?
I don't know, but well worth it.
Well worth it. I have to imagine at some point.
You can pull a beer bottle out of your tits? No.
Yeah.
Check
Here's
this
a
out.
vodka bottle. Oop, that's not even good enough. Here's I have to.
I got Grey Goose and I can clean, bitch. Look at this. You ain't
cook,
nothing.
I can clean. Come check out my WAP.
Yeah.
That's what the cool kids say. I have to imagine at least in one of the takes that when she pulled, one of those had to fall out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of them had to pop out for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
And if we probably went to that person's bio, click the link, it'll probably be like, check out my Instagram. Then you go to Instagram. There's probably her doing some stuff with a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say I'm not a betting man, but I am a betting man. And if somebody wants to check that out, yeah.
Who still has a dirt devil though? What's up with that? Like,
That
I haven't
looks
seen one of
OG.
those in forever. That looked like the OG. Well, you know, not the real OG, but
No.
one of the OG, like the smaller ones that were meant for like hardwood floors and shit.
Yep.
That's what that looked like.
Because it had the bag on it too, I think. Like
Huh.
the
little part.
Well, if her OF isn't working out, she could probably get a decent amount of money for that vacuum.
Probably, yeah. Slightly used.
or call back to the video where the guy pulls you in where they sell stuff that isn't stuff, and she's selling her vacuum with the picture of it coming out of her tits.
Yeah.
Gotta get more
or dirt devil vacuum cleaner for sale. Slightly used.
Yeah. Slightly used, just like me.
Extra bags or bags extra.
Check out my Instagram. Here's another girl that I'm sure her parents are proud.
We all get a pass on this one because I'm kind of fucking intrigued right now. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
He couldn't even go on to next video.
Nope.
Wow. How?
I don't know.
I don't understand how people do the whole where they can just chug a whole bunch and it just like pours down their throat. I know it's something about opening some blah blah blah. Now, yeah, cool. I don't know how to do that, and I don't really have a need for it. It sounds like something you need for swallowing dick. So,
I mean, that girl probably was the one that pooped out that turd. If you're opening up your throat,
the mouth opening enough to, for sure.
Yep. That the rest
For
has
sure.
to go in
She
there.
stuffed like a whole burrito down, no chewing, and that's what happens when you don't chew, kids. That's what.
I mean, some people say they might love her. Some are going to not love her because if you marry her and she doesn't have health insurance, you start putting that on the health insurance, she's going to have some surgery. She's going to have some problems. I mean, you're chugging.
What her deductible is, you know.
Fuck, I mean, the carbonation alone, just chugging a beer like, jeez.
But how was like it wasn't going down anymore? That was the part that was concerning me. Is like she was just stuck sitting there because it wasn't like going down anymore. But how I guess she was just breathing through her nose or something. I don't know.
Must be. I mean, she didn't look very big and was sitting down, so I have to imagine that's a lot of liquid. At some point, you're gonna fill up.
I wish we could have seen the setup. That's what I wanted to see. The setup of getting the mouth around the cup. You know, that's what I want to see is the setup to get your mouth around the cup to tilt it up and do that. I want to see that.
It would be like a big snake consuming something. I don't know.
People are messing up with videos. You gotta be prepared. You have to be ready to get that shot because we need to see the setup. And then when it happens, don't pull your phone away and point at the ground. Keep filming. If you're not going to help and you're going to be that dick that just films anyhow, keep filming and keep it steady.
Yeah.
So we can see what happens because I'm tired of not really seeing what happens at the end.
I mean, a lot of people too. It looks like it wasn't her first time doing this, but maybe in the camera person's defense, they just kind of were like, what is all the commotion? And then took out the phone.
Well, that video's probably been edited a million times and probably not even the original one by now. So
I like the guy that was super drunk, just dancing in the background. He was just
he's living it.
Awesome.
He's living it.
But we did mention she would have to open her mouse her mouse. Open that mouse. Open her mouth like a snake. Speaking of snakes, check out this big ass snake. I wanted to save this for Toby because he loves the accent from the people, but you know,
Australian.
How will we get him away?
We won't. Oh my god. Hope he goes into the neighbour. That is feral, isn't it?
They're freaky, aren't they?
Oh, feral.
Dad would be able to touch him.
No.
Dad's scared of snakes.
Means it's
summer. Careful,
Lucky.
Careful,
Oh, fucking shit.
Be brave. Oh, listen to Gary.
Wait till Willie sees this video.
Look at him.
Wait until his tail. Wait until his tail just goes boom.
Yeah.
Come on, your keys is getting cold. Oh, God, you're bossy dog.
Look at this.
He's going the next one now.
Oh, look, his
Watch
tail's going to go.
Ready?
His tail's going to go
Ready,
kaboom.
Steady.
Go. Wait.
Oh
Now.
my God, look at it.
Now.
Ready?
Oh.
It's got muscle.
It's got bones.
Oh, see, I would have thought that would have dropped.
Yeah, same.
Oh, look at him.
It's all one big muscle.
Hey? He's quite beautiful, isn't he?
No.
Is he?
No, but
is
look
he
at
a
his
tree?
skin. He is beautiful.
Is he a tree snake?
No, he's a carpet snake,
Then
darling.
how does he climb trees?
Look, he's in across the thread.
Oh God, I love Australian people sitting there as freaking snake that could eat your kid. I don't know what kind of snake that is. Python of some sort, some kind of constrictor of some sort. Clearly,
Not a tree snake.
At first I was like, okay, that's not that. Have y'all been to Florida? Like, you see that all the time, especially you go towards the Everglades and stuff like that. That's nothing. But then when the head came around, the head on that snake was huge. That was a big old snake.
Yeah, I mean that's what 15 feet.
Yeah,
that's a big.
It's bigger than I'll own. I like my ball pythons. They only get to 5 to 6 feet. I can manage that, and they won't eat me. So, but not that thing. But I love how they're all just out there calm. One guy's like, "Hey, you shrimp on the bobbies," or whatever you said.
Pizza's getting cold.
Pizza's getting cold,
of
mate.
all the things, pizza. And then I heard somebody say, "Hey, that's a beauty, eh?" I'm like,
yeah. So all Australians crack me up, and I love them for it because while in America, people they see something like that and they're like, "Oh my God," and they freak out and they're like screaming stuff. No, not Australians. They're all Steve Irwin, basically. They're like, "Oh, look at that. It's beautiful, mate."
Yeah. And then the one's like, "Nope.
I'm going to touch it."
Daddy's going to touch it, right? Nope.
See it, snake over there? I'm going to poke it in the cloaca. Oh, it's angry.
Yeah, that's a fucking. I couldn't imagine seeing that. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't see something like that here, but
yeah, I'd hope not. Y'all got problems because temperature's not the right temperature for stuff like that up there.
No. And did you see in the news the other day something that just doesn't make sense, that there was a shark found in Idaho?
How far is Idaho from an ocean?
It's surrounded by land. There's no.
Wait a minute. What? Okay, so there's no river that comes in at all from the ocean.
That I don't know, but I know it is a landlocked state. I know that there is land all around it. Let's see, Idaho miles to an ocean. Ocean to Ohio.
The only reason I ask is because bull sharks can swim, but that seems way more than 500 miles. They can swim 500 miles up fresh water.
This says 850 to 900 miles. And it was a salmon shark.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is, but
yeah, I looked it up. It was.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
So salmon shark is like a.
I feel safe in lakes. Don't do that to me. I feel safe in lakes.
Of the
I
mackerels.
have a fear of the ocean. So.
Mackerel, right? Mackerel.
Mackerels.
Yeah, like kind of like that, up to 10 feet. But apparently, yeah, it was washed up on a shore.
Oh, so it didn't survive.
No, it died at some point.
But for it to be that big, it wasn't like somebody had it as a pet and released it into the wild kind of thing.
That's the only thing that I thought that it maybe was, but they just kept saying it was an alarming discovery. It washed up on shore. It does go after salmon, which a lot of the salmon, I guess, go 850 to 900 miles into certain places of Idaho.
Yeah, so perhaps it is a freshwater shark then.
Experts believe, okay, I just pulled up an article real quick from the kktv.com that it was a prank that they think that somebody dropped this shark on shore.
So somebody brought a shark 800 miles from the ocean and just drops it in a lake.
Yeah, apparently, because they're like, rest assured that there's no sharks swimming in Idaho. According to the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, salmon sharks are found from Korea and Japan to Okhotsk.
So not even from this country.
In Bering Seas and the Gulf of Alaska to central Baja California.
Okay, so still feasible, but Idaho, are y'all? We still know y'all exist. You didn't have to make up some crazy news to get our attention.
Apparently, that's the picture.
Wow. All
Salmon shark.
What? That has to be an expensive prank.
Right. Or like, how does one just get a salmon shark in Idaho?
How do you have that delivered? Like, do you catch it and just drive to? You drove that. You went up. Let's say they went up to Alaska and did some fishing, and they happened to catch that and brought it back. Somehow got it through customs and all that kind of stuff to go through Canada, and then just decided to dump it in a lake. What do they do? Take it to a taxidermy, and the taxidermy is like, "That's gonna be $10,000," and they're like, "Nope. Well, what are we gonna do with it? Throw it in the lake."
We're just going to dump it near the lake and scare some people. But yeah, I mean, it is known. Apparently, it was the Salmon River. Obviously, it's known as the River of No Return. It's a freshwater river that runs in central and eastern Idaho. It has a ton of different variety of fish, but salmon sharks are going to be one.
The River of No Return.
That's what it says.
That's a
according to abc4.com. Interesting. I don't know. Either way, careful. You should be good in Idaho. So just get your potatoes, and you're good to continue swimming. So all right, we did it. That's an hour. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Really do. Toby, I appreciate you. I know you're doing some reading. You've you're probably sleeping. Appreciate you as well, and everybody that took some time out of their day that are listening to it now. Maybe a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, an hour from now. Appreciate you guys too, and all the people. Rage and Pillage, Wrath, Sandchester. You guys all stuck around to the very end. We appreciate it. One more video. He wants one last video. Wrath does. I think that's fair. That's fair. You stuck around. You get one more. Make it a good one. Let's do this one. It's about a very confused female about a car part.
All right.
Okay, so if this is where it's leaking, then why isn't this flat and it's flat down there?
Yeah.
So she's confused as to why the top is not flat and the bottom is when the leak is at the top.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do well in physics, did she?
I'm not sure she did well at any school.
That's
but although
probably
some
right.
people that are super book smart have no common sense. So she's probably like,
well, that would seem like that would be book smart though to me, that the weight of the truck is what causes the tire to be pushed down.
Spoiler alert, she was actually the nurse that was carrying the big turd, I heard.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. That's just what I heard. Could be wrong, but it could be right. Either way,
wow.
That's a wrap. We appreciate you. We'll be back live next week. Same time, same place. Tomorrow, the SWFFL makes its recording debut. It's going to be interesting. Rage and Pillage is going to be in there. And myself, Eubin, and 7 other podcasters. You might know some. You might not know any of them. It's going to be crazy. We're gonna do what we can do. And then Thursday, I don't know when we're going to put that live. But either way, I'll let everybody know. And then Thursday, we're gonna release the video of Eubin, myself, and Brandon J. McDermott talking. It's pretty interesting. The SWFFL. If you want to know what that stands for, watch the video. It's pretty hilarious. Just keep in mind that Eubin and myself created this league, and the whole entire idea came from Eubin's brain, and we know that's an interesting place. So SWFFL, and there is a YouTube. If you guys want to check it out, there is a couple of videos that might actually give you a little bit of some spoilers of what this could be. So check it out. I'll put it in the links in the description. Again, please go check out Richie's as well. I know somebody else did today, so thank you very much for checking that out. You're up to 91, baby.
Hell yeah.
They say the first 91 is the hardest.
Yeah.
First 69 was the hardest. I really heard, but
yeah, it didn't last long. It didn't last long, but it was enjoyable. It's a little early finish, but we hit 69 and then quickly, just a little premature, went straight to 70s. But we're happy.
We are happy. I'm happy to be here. Hopefully you guys are too. And that's all we got. We'll see you next time. Go show some love to all the guys on the show, whether it's just Richie. Go show Toby some love, and Eubin as well, if you want. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your Taco Tuesday. Remember, never trust a fart on Wednesday. because, the Taco Tuesday, you could shit yourself. I
Mhm.
fucked it up. I'm leaving. Okay, bye.